Ella, you've the words fetch that water.
What?
Fetch that water.
Snille hit weer gaan.
There's literally sorg med them.
There's hole on them ladna, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. There's hole on them shadna, dear Lisa, and hole. Swat bet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Swat bet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, bet it. Mid we shall ich betam, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. Mid we shall ich betam, dear Lisa, mid we. Mid strawa, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Mid strawa, dear Henry, dear Henry, strawa. Ac straubi swalahon, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. Ac straubi swalahon, dear Lisa, tolong. Swa sheer hit, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Sheer hit, dear Henry, dear Henry, sheer hit. Mid we shall it sheeran, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. Mid we shall it sheeran, dear Lisa, mid we. Knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Mid knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, knife. A knife swa astund, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. A knife swa astund, dear Lisa, astund. Wette hinne, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Wette hinne, dear Henry, dear Make hinne sharp. On Juan Shavage wetam, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. On Juan Shavage wetam, dear Lisa, on Juan. On Stana, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. On Stana, dear Henry, dear Henry, Stana. Ac stanis je drugid, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. Ac stanis je drugid, dear Lisa, waterles. Wattahin, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Wattahin, dear Henry, dear Henry, wattahin. Mid we shall ich wattam, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. Mid we shall ich wattam, dear Lisa, mid we. Mid watre, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Ned watres, dear Henry, dear Henry, watres. On Juan shall chit fetcham, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. On Juan shall chit fetcham, dear Lisa, on Juan. On Lladna, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. On Lladna, dear Henry, dear Henry, Lladna. Ac there's hole on them Lladna, dear Lisa, dear Lisa. There's hole on them Lladna, dear Lisa, and hole.